Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with the Nostalgia Critic, and today we got it back with the Terminator. Yeah, the first one. So, this is interesting. So, nothing else to say other than let's check out the original Terminator and see what the critic thought. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's go.
This episode brought to you by HelloFresh.
HelloFresh.
Delicious pre-measured ingredients and simple chef-made recipes delivered to your doorstep every week.
Oh yeah, Terminator month. Yep.
Hello and welcome to Terminator Month. Nader, it's a working title. Like a lot of you, I have had a fascination with these movies. From the first two entertaining and groundbreaking films to the other ones. But those first two films left such an impact, it's hard not to still be invested. Arguably Arnold's most famous role, the story of a killer machine arriving from the future, may not be the most mind-blowing, but the characters, stunts, action, and performances make it one of the most iconic. Often quoted, satirized, and paid homage to, the Terminator movies have inspired a lot in terms of effects, style, and overall attitude.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
You'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back.
You know how after Star Wars every film was doing something similar, or after the Marvel movies everybody was copying the same thing? The early Terminator films were the same. Suddenly, a lot of sci-fi was about stopping an evil future. Everybody had black coats and shades. Killer robots were suddenly all over the place. Most of them had that metallic blue tint. And by God, liquid metal practically ruled the 90s. But all this began with a little movie that killed, with James Cameron's original, The Terminator.
The Terminator. From the 1980s.
1984 on a budget of only $6.5 million, Terminator was a surprise hit that surprised nobody more than its main villain, Schwarzenegger. He was originally called in to play Michael Bihn's role, as others were considered for the Deadly Machine, including Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone, and even O.J. Simpson, who was turned down because Cameron didn't believe he could be a convincing killer. When Cameron met Arnold, though, he instantly saw him in the role. Arnold was hesitant, though, because he didn't want to play an emotionless robot. He arguably had been playing that enough already. But he agreed, seeing the film was underground enough that if it failed, it wouldn't hurt his rising star too much. Not only was it a hit, though, it was a hit that led to sequels, spin-offs, countless merchandise, and cemented Arnold as one of the most iconic movie stars of all time. But with so many years having gone by, does the film still hold up, or is it a case of the right audience at the right time?
Well,
let's take a look and see if this is still a sci-fi classic. This is The Terminator.
The Terminator. Here we go.
We open in the very modelly looking future of 2029. Man, Biden's stimulus was too much. If you think that joke is instantly dated, take a listen to the opening music.
Oh. Damn.
So, one of the interesting things about the Terminator films is they're mostly timeless. There's little hints of the time period it was made in, of course, but for the most part, you can put on any of them and not guess right away when they were made. Except for this one.
For this one.
The 80s is dripping off this
big
like
hair,
a Reaganomics episode
outfits.
of He-Man. But it's surprisingly not a bad thing here. The part of the 80s being focused on is not as much the bright colors and upbeat songs, it's more the dark, gritty, rebelliously unshaven side you don't usually see as much in the 80s section of Halloween stores. It fittingly adds to the film's atmosphere rather than distracts. The opposite of flicks like...
What are you listening to? New Kids on the Block.
We take place in the 80s!
Okay, God!
Yeesh. Yeah, honestly, this film being kind of like a time capsule to the 80s, damn. I mean, you ain't wrong. I mean, it does feel 80s, you know? Like, any other film, you could pretty much say, oh, that could take place at our time. Here, nope, just plain 80s. Just, wow. Anywho, here comes the robot.
Whoa, I'm a black guy in a film about a killer. I know what happens to me.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out of here.
Weather calls for a 60% chance. Naked Austrians. Oh, I guess it's a 100% chance. Dude,
pretty much.
Mr. Universe.
Oof.
Nice night for a walk, eh?
He approaches a street gang led by Cameron favorite Bill Paxton, who I think is challenging him to a gap-off.
Fuck you, asshole! Game over, man!
Not gonna lie, I always liked to think he went home and became Chet, making Weird Science an unofficial sequel. And I would argue the most diverse of the Terminator films.
This boy talking about on the telephone, man. What's that? Goddamn, we know there's a telephone.
I guess we're
With
sense
that
there.
argument, but I'd make it just because it's funny.
What's
Once he
wrong?
gets covered up, another visitor from the future arrives, Kyle Reese, played by Michael Biehn.
Reese?
One of the things I immediately enjoy watching this again is how much like an 80s comic book it is. Sometimes it's a little jarring, like Arnold punches a guy and it awkwardly cuts to him just on the ground lifeless. But if you imagine the angles and cuts like comic book panels, it really
Oh yeah,
captures
they're
that
definitely
80s
comic
style
book
of-
panels.
Oh, what's a good name for it? Dirty Shadows. Yeah, I like that. Kind of sounds like
Dirt
a Tim
Shadows.
Burton porno spoof.
Hey, buddy, did you just see a real bright light?
I smell someone stealing pants down here. No, seriously, how did this chase start?
I don't know.
He gets away, and we're introduced
Double
to
back.
Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton. She's a waitress who talks to
Linda.
restaurant statues,
Guard it for me, big buns.
so there's that.
Big buns.
And she's being hunted by the Terminator, who, what is up with that jacket? I mean, I know it's the 80s, but that looks like a janitor uniform got surprise
no
ironed by
kidding.
the disco stew coat. How is it people mock the glasses in 3, but this gets a free pass?
Yeah, I'm like,
When
what?
Soft borrows a ride, we're shown that Sarah
Okay.
doesn't exactly have the world's greatest job.
Look
Really?
at this way, in 100 years, who's gonna care?
And
Feel bad about that ice cream thing. Strange thing to think about, being a skull.
The Terminator enters a gun shop ran by, Dick Miller. That's
Hey,
nice.
Miller.
I rarely see him in cult 80s movies.
Uzi 9mm.
You know your weapons, buddy. Any one of these is ideal for home defense.
You know, I've never owned a gun shop, but is it safe to show off your gun so close to the ammo?
oh god,
Gremlins. He loads
Yep,
up and gets
bye.
ready to axe off every Sarah Connor in the LA area.
there's about 3.
Connor.
Yes.
Third
Wrong
day
answer.
she was here. I'm Susan. In fact, no hopla in glace.
Look,
It
too
doesn't
late.
take long to figure out there's a few less Sarah Connors in LA today.
Brutally shot to death in her home this afternoon. Once again, Sarah Connor, 35,
That's your name, dude.
mother of 2.
This doesn't bother her too much as she gets on her totally not Jetsons shirt
George has red hair, they're completely different people.
and gets a phone call meant for her roommate.
For some of the buttons off your blouse, one by one.
Who is this?
Sarah?
Hi.
Not gonna lie, as entertaining as this all is,
I can
am
imagine the
just
roommates doing that.
fascinated by the clothing choices in this movie. An
Albert Einstein,
Einstein
too?
tank top. It's like they're getting their wardrobe at the Goodwill for Goodwill.
Sarah
Goodwill and Goodwill.
35 shot 6 times.
Meanwhile, at the police station, a detective discusses the impressive pile of Sarah Connors adding up. He's played by Lance Hendrickson, who you may
Lance,
want to
huh?
thank for this entire franchise.
Oh,
You see, one of the possible financiers didn't think the idea of the Terminator was very scary. So Cameron had Henriksen dress up like the character, kick open his door, and sit down at the guy's desk. When he asked if that scared him, he replied, "Hell yes," and agreed to the movie. Henriksen
Well, there you
of course,
go.
didn't play the part,
Just-
but Cameron made
there
it
you go,
up to him by
motherfucker.
casting him as an android in Aliens. I'm sure he loved it.
except getting torn apart.
than mortal man deserves.
It's a look that says I should be helping a starship find whales. Gotta give
Does
credit.
look like
This
that
is one
outfit.
of the few good fake outs I've actually seen in a horror movie.
Oh,
It's
hi.
legit creepy because the past women
Wait.
were killed at the door. But her roommate also has a date. So it works as a jump and totally
Yes,
legitimate reason
because
for the
we don't even
scene
know
to
if that's the
exist.
date or the
Also,
Terminator.
this is a little creepy.
Oi, your girlfriend's in there.
Baskin Robbins, you don't sample a woman and then pick another one.
Yeah,
As
what?
much as I love that first fake out,
Oh,
though,
boy.
this one seems a little silly.
Oi, bad iguana,
I
bad.
must assume Arnold was dropping snacks for a minute. I thought he'd be on top of the fridge. He does end
Nope,
up taking
he's right
the
there.
boyfriend out, only to discover neither of them were Sarah Connor.
Hi there. I fooled you. You're talking to a machine. It's okay. Machines need love too.
I have no idea you are romantic. If you're still alive, we could do it. Wait, what if I'm John's father?
Ginger, this is Sarah. Pick up if you're there.
Oh, I guess that makes more sense.
Never mind.
Sarah calls the police at a local club and finally gets through.
But I don't want to leave. I think there's a guy following me.
Don't go outside or even to the restroom. I'll have a car there in a hot minute.
Okay.
Sadly, a hot minute in California means
20
3
minutes.
hours.
Yeah.
Naturally, the Terminator finds her
Oh.
first and invites himself in. Don't worry, Lou. I'll get him by climbing up his ass. Seriously, where does she go? He spots her not exactly having the fastest reflexes, but Reese stops and tries to get her to safety.
Yeah, barely
Come with
survived.
me if you want to live.
Stealing from Casper. Low.
Really? The whole "come with me if you want to live" thing. Didn't expect Reese to be the first one to utter the line, but, well, you know, you never know where the famous lines come from. But, hey, at least now we know. Though I'm curious, like, if Skynet actually heard that from, like, the original Terminator, you know, that one, be like, good line. I'm gonna steal that from the next one. Put that in the dinner banks. I think you're making an infiltration bot, why not? Anywho, moving on. Now it's on to the chases. Out they go.
Reese gets Sarah out, but the Terminator steals a cop car to chase them.
This is 1L19, westbound and Olympic approaching Overland.
I did that well.
What's that, Rick?
Oh, you weren't supposed to hear that. Shoot yourself.
Well, okay, Rick, if you say so.
Yikes!
They hide out in a parking garage as Reese explains he's there to protect her from the killer cyborg.
The Terminator's an infiltration unit. Microprocessor controlled.
We think he has Intel Pentium insides.
Flesh, skin, hair.
Austrian accent. It's designed to blend in. After several times trying to escape, Sarah finally goes along with what he's saying.
Can you stop it?
Man, I'll do my best.
I mean, I'm from the future, and like 10 of these have been sent back, so I'm assuming it's possible. He lets her know that the reason she's targeted is because she'll be carrying a child who will grow up into the freedom fighter who will lead the resistance against the machines.
Defense network computers. Trusted to run it all. They say it got smart. A new order of intelligence.
Look, just take this pamphlet, QAnon and you. It also talks about how the lizard people are on the rise. They lose him, but the real police show up, and Sarah says they're outgunned. And I'm sorry, why are people from the future always dumbasses?
Skynet had to wipe out his entire existence. Connor sent me to intercept, and they blew the whole place.
At least in something like 12 Monkeys, they clarify time travel can mess with you mentally. But in these films, there's always an idiot who thinks if they tell the truth, everyone will believe them. The only bit of fun comes from everybody's reaction to him.
I could make a career out of this guy. This is fucking great.
So Reese is crazy?
In technical terminology, he's a loon.
I believe the official term is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Sarah, this is what they call body armor. Our TAC guys wear these.
It stops bullets. Do you know what bullets are, Sarah? While the definition of mansplaining is explored, the Terminator fixes his eye at a nearby hotel.
Oh yeah, I think they used a puppet for this part too. You can tell in the latex.
These effects are a little dated now, but given the time and budget they had, they're pretty mind-blowing. Creating a robotic head that's supposed to look human both close-up and in medium shots was pretty damn ambitious. And let's face it, it still looks better than a CGI rock.
I'm a friend of Sarah Connor.
This is followed by him entering the station requesting to see Connor.
And I'll be back.
Oh, now they're stealing from Last Action Hero. It's nothing sacred! Of course, this line wouldn't mean much if it didn't have a memorable follow-up.
Incoming!
Sorry, sir. The drive-thru's in the back.
Got him.
He shoots up the place, but Reese escapes, helping Sarah get out alive. They hide under a bridge when their car runs out of gas.
Cold.
Freezing.
Being nighttime in LA, it is 70 degrees. He gives her his coat and she mends his wounds as they make small talk.
Tell me about my son.
He has your eyes.
What's he like?
Grumpy. He likes to yell at DPs a lot.
What the fuck are you doing?
There we go.
Triggers a kind of flashback. I mean, this does technically
technically
happen in
forward.
the future, where he remembers surviving with one of the last armies of humans.
Don't.
They were
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I can imagine that happening.
The first time I saw it.
Ooh, the fire channel. Love it.
So what's on the TV tonight?
It's always fire!
There.
Ooh, a Demolition Man dinner. He looks over a picture of Connor just before a Terminator breaks in and shoots up the place, causing the picture to burn.
Oof.
So, I'm kinda torn on this because these scenes are almost pointless.
Keyword
What
almost.
I mean is, the picture is important because it shows time is a never-ending loop by the end. Which granted is nuked pretty fast in the sequels, but a part of me thinks the films would have been creepier if we never saw the future. If it was just these two chasing each other, we saw the machine at the end, and we had to put together what the future looks like just based on this image, our imaginations could fill in how terrifying it could be. However, with the semi-low budget look, showing the future does help legitimize it a bit. No matter how convincing Bien is, it could still come across as cheap if Armageddon was only based on his performance. It's a moot point because you have to see it in the sequels anyway, but I always wondered if it would be scarier if the future was never seen. Then again, it does distract from odd lines like...
Honestly, I think when it comes to the future, I think if it, like, needs a little more, be like, yeah, I don't know if this is definitely a more show don't tell thing, but, to each their own. Honestly, I think showing it along with the description, like, yikes. Especially with those, like, big battlefield with those, like, giant towering robots. Like, yeesh. You gotta admit, it is pretty nuts when you look at it, you know? Definitely a future I would not hope for in the slightest at all, you know? Anywho, move along.
Like this.
I was dreaming about dogs.
I like
We
dogs.
use them to spot Terminators.
And we occasionally watch them instead of TV, though sometimes the fire really was on fire. Just as they find themselves a motel, the Terminator is leaving his, leading to easily the funniest scene in the movie.
Oh, here we go.
Got a dead cat in there or what?
Oh, here we go.
Fuck you,
Fuck you, asshole.
It's a special moment when you find someone else who also uses that as their ringtone.
Fuck you, asshole. Fuck you, asshole.
Hello?
Hello.
You were calling just to make that joke work? Thank you.
Makes sense.
Sarah can't help but
Still,
wonder,
it's fun.
though, is there a Mrs. Come With Me if you want to live?
Was there someone special?
Someone.
A girl, you know?
No, they all died.
They could never get over my fake scar falling off. Good luck not noticing that every time you watch this scene.
God damn it.
Gave me a picture of you once. I came across time for you, Sarah. I love you.
Creepy.
I always have.
So their romance is a bit sporadic. They've only known each other for a day and he's already confessing his love.
I love you. I always have.
We shall be married in the morning.
But the adrenaline of the situation,
Ain't wrong.
I guess, kind of fuels it. Though looking at a picture every day saying one day I'm gonna bang my commander's mother still comes across as a strange meet-cute.
Yeah, not to mention, like, how would that
Kind of
timeline
passion,
work?
But the Terminator finds them pretending to be Sarah's mother.
I love you too, sweetheart.
To be fair, a lot of women think their mothers are emotionless machines. However, they steal a car to escape, outwitting him.
Damn.
The Terminator steals the truck to try and run him over, but they throw a bomb into the tailpipe, blowing up the rear projection.
Oh, by the way, that's the real thing.
One of the great things about Cameron movies is they often have a surprise climax. And it arguably started with Terminator, as it really feels like the fight is over. They even showed off what you would assume was left of their effects budget. But that just makes it all the more terrifying when this happens.
And the robot.
No way out. No way out. No way out.
It's freaky as hell when you discover
that's,
not
oh,
only
God.
is it not dead, but it's a metal skeleton with an evil brow. An evil brow like one of the skeletons from Army of Darkness. What kind of sicko machines would put that on there?
No kidding. That inspires fear, but yeah.
Though, okay, the stop
motion
does take down the fear factor a little bit. I love the creepy movement stop motion usually has, but this moves like Jack Skellington just discovered eggnog. It's a little silly looking.
Ooh, an eggnog.
Have you heard the good news? Skynet saves. You replaced my penis, how kind.
Oh, God.
Mine didn't do that. Usually.
I'm getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. So I'm coming day and night.
Poor Reese.
Thus begins the Michael Biehn death curse. Don't worry, Mikey. People will know you beat Sean Bean's record someday.
33 times.
But
wow.
even then, the machine's not dead.
Still not done. It really shows the tenacity of these things.
You're a terminated fucker.
She finally gets him in just the right spot and smashes him flat.
Woof.
All right, we'll call it a draw.
we're done.
As you probably put together, Sarah is now pregnant with Reese's son, who will be the savior of the future, and, well, there just aren't that many mommy books about that.
And the photo.
What did he just say?
He says even though he's 4'0", he's somehow got a high-angle picture of you.
How's that?
There's a storm coming in.
I know.
It's the box office returns for Dark Fate.
Ain't that the truth?
Woo! And that was The Terminator. It's very 80s, but it's very awesome.
The best 80s here.
When you consider one of the most expensive films of that decade was Rambo 3 at $63 million, and this only cost $6.5 million, it's amazing this film turned out as well as it did. I have no problem believing
that budget
Arnold
out.
is a killer machine. Cameron even said the accent added an almost synthesized quality, like the machines hadn't quite gotten the voice thing figured out. The characters aren't Shakespeare, but they're likable enough. Plus, there's so many quotable lines, suspenseful moments, and unforgettable imagery. If T2 is the Fury Road of the series, this is certainly the original Mad Max. More gritty and low budget, but going above and beyond with what they had. Can it be corny? Sure, but that's part of the fun. And it balances out with the more gory and intense moments. It has the charm of a low-budget passion project, but the feel of a big-budget Hollywood epic. It's one of a kind and deserves to be looked at if you haven't already.
In the good way.
I'm the Nostalgia Critic, and Terminator Month Day has just begun!
And stick with Terminator Month. Yeah, what did it do?
I was dreaming about dogs.
Oh, there you are. The term. And honestly, it's 80s in the best way. I mean, serves as a timepiece of the past, but also, in a way, shows what the 80s was kind of like, instead of like the glorified, neon stuff of the 80s, Here? Or at least, I think it was less neon, I don't know. I think neon was 90s, wasn't it? I mean, hey, made some stars and spawned a franchise. Let me know what you guys think. Till next time, see ya.